Welcome to the Throttle Up Racing Network. Tonight we are at Darlington. Lady in Black, Too Tough to Tame. You see the practice times. Landon Lacey quickest on the board as we get ready to head into qualifying. James Fox first to roll out on the track. You're going to see a lot of throwback schemes tonight. The Bojangles Southern 250. NASCAR's made the Darlington race the throwback week, and on iRacing a lot of leagues do that, and we're doing that here tonight, throwback week in the Gadget Solutions Next Gen Cup Series. Masterson out on the track. Adam Brown getting out there. That old school Kellogg's ride for Brandon Browning tonight. John Anderson. Love seeing that Tide ride out there. Kind of a throwback to the Ricky Craven car that had that infamous battle with Kurt Busch coming down to the line. One of the most famous finishes in NASCAR history, especially here at Darlington. It's Gary Cronenwett in the 88. Ryan Smith in the 61, he's getting out there. And the track temp is it's a little bit low, but that's because it's nightfall. There's going to be a lot of grip. That's going to make these race cars tight. And you're going to see a lot of these cars coming off of turn 2 right here, get up into that outside wall. See how close the 61 of Ryan Smith gets. When these guys are pushing in the race, they're sure to hit that outside wall several times tonight. It's also an issue right there. You see the sparks fly off the side of that number 61 as he tags the wall. Wesley Jeanette in the 74 Haviland car. Cronenwett right now your pole sitter. Quentin Clark, this is one of my favorite paint schemes of all time. This one custom out for Quentin Clark. It says Bond tonight, but throwback to that famous Mac Tonight paint scheme, the number 94 Bill Elliott. Growing up, that was one of my favorite race cars. Quentin Clark second quickest. See if he can get a good run off turn 4. Looks like he's going to slow it down. Or out of turn 2, excuse me. So Quentin Clark up to second quickest. Wesley Jeanette, he's fourth quickest. See a lot of right side damage. He's got the wall hard. Cody Bullock out there on the racetrack. And Patriot Sim Racing. These guys have got a cool theme going tonight. They've got all 3 of the DEI cars and Dale Earnhardt's paint scheme for their 4 cars in the Patriot Sim stable. So that's a pretty cool theme. Here's Landon Lacey in the old Jeff Gordon car, number 53. He was quickest in practice. Cody Bullock's up there in that outside wall. So this lap's not going to count. I'm not sure either one of his laps is going to count, as both laps he tags that outside wall. A lot of damage to the right side. So we'll watch Landon Lacey. Like I said, he was fastest in the practice. Expect him to have another quick one here. Oh, he tags the outside wall. That may be detrimental if he can't get a lap in. Second time around for Landon Lacey. Across the line. Pole for the number 53 of Landon Lacey. See if anyone else out on the track. Nobody out there right now running a lap. So Landon Lacey, your quick qualifier. Nathan Lyon, he pulls out onto the pit lane. Very old school looking car right there. Number 33 Pennzoil shell car. We'll see if Nathan takes a lap as the time winding down here in qualifying. Just about 3.5 minutes remain. Now Nathan will pull out, looks like. The points standings right now, Landon Lacey, Caleb McCarthy, James Fox, and Quentin Clark all locked in with wins. Brandon Browning, Garrett Fox, Gary Cronenwet, Wesley Jeanette, Adam Brown, Simon Grills, John Elkins all in right now. And on the bubble, Donnie Klein sitting there with 155 points. Aaron Mack in the 31, he's got 150 points. Cody Bullock, 149 points in 13th. That puts him 1 point out on the outside looking in. And Aaron Gordon, 139 points. So he's 11 points out in the number 51, trying to get into that top 12. Before we get to the playoffs, Nathan Lyon, some difficulty getting up to speed. Nathan choosing to bring it on back into the pit lane. The 19 of Joseph Peters, he'll roll out onto the speedway. Let's see if he can get a lap. Peters with a good run off turn 4. Oh, big hit to the inside wall. He'll have to reset that vehicle, try and take another lap. Nathan Lyon now up to speed, down to the final minute. That will cost him the lap. Anytime you touch the wall, iRacing disqualifies your time. So we'll see if he can get enough of a run, maybe get a second lap here. I'm not sure. He just wants to not hit the wall. No time for Nathan Lyon. Peters starting on his second lap. Darlington's difficult to not hit the wall. You've got to be right on the edge to make a fast lap. and there he is right in that outside wall. So we see a lot of guys get out there and qualify. A lot of these drivers, they put the car out there, but they keep tagging that outside wall, disqualifying their time. So only 13 drivers making a time. 21 drivers in the field. 145 laps for tonight's race as we get ready to go through the field. These drivers begin to grid in, get their cars down to the starting line. From your pole tonight, number 53, driving that old school Jeff Gordon paint scheme, it's Landon Lacey in the number 53. On the outside pole, the number 88 of Gary Cronenwet. Starting from the third position, Quentin Clark in the number 94. In the fourth starting spot, J. Rob Masterson. Wesley Jeanette, he'll start in the fifth position. James Fox, he'll start in the sixth starting spot, the number 58. Garrett Fox throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt, the number 85. He'll start seventh. Brandon Browning in the 48. He'll start in the eighth position tonight. Rolling off in ninth, a Rusty Wallace throwback scheme. Matthew Montgomery in the number 2. In the tide ride, John Anderson, number 56. He'll round out our top 10. 11th starting position, Ryan Smith in 61. Simon Grills, the number 8, throwing it back to Dale Jr. in 12th starting spot. Adam Brown in the number 9, he'll start 13th. Caleb McCarthy's in 14th. 15th. Aaron Mack in the 31. As we look through our grid, '16th Enzo Haceta, 17th is Aaron Mack, 18th Joseph Peters, 19th John Baker, 20th Kyle Lefevre, 21st is Nathan Line, and rounding out our field is Cody Bullock. As we head to the front, we get ready to go green flag racing. Taking a look at tonight's race info. Track temp down to 79 degrees. That's going to be a lot of grip for these drivers as we get ready to go green flag racing. Pace car down pit lane. Now we're waiting for the green flag. And green flag for Landon Lacey. He takes him off down into turn 1. And Lacey with such a good run, the 94 gets sideways. He does a good job of saving it, but he's going to move from third way back, already out of the top 10. Quentin Clark back to 11th. He'll merge back onto the racetrack, but he'll drop from second all the way back to 11th. You see sparks flying right in front of him. Now he'll try and fight his way back through. Now he's up into that outside wall. I can already see some damage there on that right front fender. More troubles and struggles for the 94, into the wall again. And he is falling back, already back to 12th position. As we go back to the front, Landon Lacey's in the lead and almost out to a 2-second lead right now. Over second position of Gary Cronenwet. And there you can see just how far ahead he is. The sparks fly. He tags the outside wall, getting that Darlington stripe. The front of field already starting to stretch it out a bit. And yellow flag as we've got a caution. Ryan Smith goes around. Looks like he's nosed it hard to the inside wall. Also some rear end contact for the 61. And gets loose off turn 2. Tries to save it, but ends up overcorrecting. Tags the nose into the outside wall. And as he gets back going, looks like he may have gotten hit right there by the 33. We'll take a look at what the 33 saw. The caution's out. Yeah, right into the rear end of the spinning 61. The 61 already in the pit lane. 33 coming down to get some service as well. He's got quite a bit of damage. So Landon Lacey, it looks like he's going to be the class of the field. Want to see if anybody can keep up. Quentin Clark, who was a fast qualifier, had some damage early, a couple of sideways spins. Able to save it, not lose it completely, but he has tagged the wall a couple of times. He's moved back into the top 10 now. So we'll see if he's one that can get up here and maybe make a challenge for the 53 of Lacey. So yeah, like I said earlier, there's a Patriot Auto team. They've all got the old Dale Earnhardt Incorporated schemes. So the 58, he's got the old Michael Waltrip Napa car. And Garrett Fox, he's running the Earnhardt scheme. Simon Grills, the old Dale Earnhardt Jr. Looks like a scheme from his rookie year 2000. And Cody Bullock, the old Steve Park car. A pretty cool theme from those guys. Get ready to go double file. We're going to go green. We've got a half lap left under caution. We're going to try and get some green flag racing going. Landon Lacey, the control car, chooses the bottom line. We'll see if he's able to make a stick down there on the bottom. How early does he go? And he's going to wait late. There he goes, back. Green flag racing here at Darlington. Cronenwet, he's pretty quick. Let's see if he can get a run and challenge Lacey in this one. Oh, a big run down into turn 3. You see the sparks flying off the side of that car. He's pushing pretty hard right up against the wall. Like I said earlier, you got to be right on the edge to get speed here at Darlington. Into the corner, down low, all the way up against the outside wall, and then back down low on exit to get a good run down the straightaway. And looking from the roof cam of Gary Cronenwet as he tries to run down Landon Lacey. You see him get that big run down the racetrack, diamonding the corners. That's the line you want to run. He gets into turn 3 a little bit better than Lacey, but Lacey does a good job on corner exit. You see the time, he kind of gets a little bit away from Cronenwet. Wesley Jeanette currently in the 6th position, racing with Brandon Browning in 5th. Matthew Montgomery there in the number 2, and Garrett Fox in the 85. Quentin Clark right behind these guys, the number 94. This is the battle for 5th position between the 48 back to the 94. Very tight battle right now as all these guys trying to make their way to the front. Stage 1 will be on lap 40. So everybody trying to at least hold their positions until lap 40 to try and get some stage points. Quentin Clark with a big run off the corner. He's going to get side by side with Garrett Fox and go right around on the outside. Quentin Clark trying to move back forward. And Clark quite a bit faster than those around him. He did qualify 2nd. Oh, right to the back bumper of the 74. And he'll get right around. That's going to cost the 74 a spot from Garrett Fox. But Quentin Clark now on the move. We see him trying to run down this number 2 in the 48, trying to get back into the top 5. Starting to find a rhythm. And he's reeling them in. He's quick. That last lap, Quentin Clark, 3rd fastest on the track. Montgomery's going to be able to get around Browning. That's for the 5th position. Browning chooses to let him go. Let's see what he does here with the 94. Clark to the inside. Quentin able to get around, and here comes Garrett Fox. Browning just trying to let these guys go. It's early in the race. Trying to get back into a rhythm now. Brandon Browning's falling back to the 8th position. Quentin Clark up to 6th as he's trying to run down the 2 of Matthew Montgomery. The top 2 have pulled way ahead of the field. Landon Lacey in the lead, but right behind him is Gary Cronenwet. Only about a second and a half the difference, not quite a second and a half. And then behind him, nobody. It is 5 seconds back to the 3rd place car of J. Rob Masterson. Oh, the 88 hits the wall pretty hard there, and he's going to lose some time. Now, that's going to cost him about 0.4 of a second. James Fox has now taken that 3rd position away from Masterson. Cody Bullock back here in the number 5. He's currently in 15th position. Looks like he's made some contact, right side contact with the wall. Yeah, some damage to the right side of that car. Everybody's going to have it before it's over with, though. Sideways on exit for Cody Bullock. Quentin Clark getting an attack right now from Garrett Fox in the 85. Garrett trying to save those tires for the longer run. And it's starting to pay off as he's in 7th, and he is working on the 6th place car of Quentin Clark. And a big run down the backstretch. He's going to take a look to the inside. Oh, Clark hits the wall pretty hard. The thing about these next-gen cars is the way these new wheels are, it doesn't take a whole lot to get some wheel damage. Now, iRacing may fix that over the long run. Not sure if that's how it's going to be in real life with these new wheels, but seems like if you hit the wall just right, it'll give you wheel damage and the meatball flag, even though you're out there still relatively competitive. That's something to watch for here at Darlington is Garrett Fox. He has now run down both the 32 and the 2. The 2 will go around the 32. The 85 of Fox will go as well, but he'll hit the outside wall. And that was not light contact to the right front. But Garrett Fox now into the top 5. And he's still on the hunt for number 2. Landon Lacey out front by a long ways. We saw Cronenwet hit the outside wall. That caused some damage or some aero damage, something to the 88, and Lacey has now pulled out to a 4.5 second lead over 2nd place in the 88. Cronenwet right now sitting in second, losing time, so not sure if he's damaged his tires or damaged his car. He gets sideways off the corner right there, so it looks like maybe he's wearing those tires out. We still got 12 laps in the stage, and James Fox has moved into third position. He's running lap times that are pretty competitive compared to our leader Landon Lacey, and he is reeling in Cronenwet by about a half a second a lap. Garrett Fox now into fourth. He's able to get around the number 2 of Matthew Montgomery, and he is on the move. That last time around, Garrett Fox was second quickest on the track. Only car faster was Landon Lacey up there in the lead. So Garrett Fox on the longer run has a car that he could get a good finish with here tonight, up to the 4th position, trying to run down James Fox in 3rd, Matthew Montgomery in the number 2. He's had a very solid night. He's currently in that top 5. Looking to have a good finish. Looks like he may have had a bad exit to that corner, but just trying to hold on with what he's got. Brandon Browning, another one who's trying to conserve those tires on the longer run. And now as we're getting down to the end of the stage number 1, he's starting to surge back to the front, drop back to 8th. Now he's made his way back up to 6th, and he is bearing down now on the number 2 of Montgomery. Right behind him, Quentin Clark. Up and down night for him. A lot of damage on the right side. Started 2nd, moved back to 12th. Moved his way back up to 6th. Now in 7th position, trying to get that 6th position back. And these guys racing hard. Clark, a good run on exit. The 48's just going to let him around. Somebody we have not mentioned tonight, Kayla McCarthy, is up to the 8th position. She's gained 6 positions from the start. Didn't see her in the practice session, so not sure how many laps she's had here in the next gen car, but now that we're 33 laps in, looks like she's starting to get into a pretty good rhythm and move her way to the front. I have a feeling before this race is over, we're going to be talking about Kayla McCarthy a lot more. Right behind her, the number 9, in the 9th position is the 74 of Wesley Jeanette. That Haviland car, and Davey Allison throwback. And having a pretty solid night inside the top 10, 9th position for Wesley Jeanette. Masterson, he was up there in 3rd not long ago. Looks like he was gunning for a short run. As we've got the 8 around. A lot of damage. A lot of damage to the number 8 of Simon Grills, both on the left side and the rear. As he gets back going right now, man, Landon Lacey, a huge lead as he has caught the tail end of the field. And with 5 laps to go, he's trying to lap as many cars as he can. Cronenwet a long ways behind. Fox tried his best to reel him in. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there before the end of the stage. Landon Lacey continues to pick his way through traffic. Around the 19th, so only 13 cars left on the lead lap right now. And he's about 2 seconds behind the 12 of John Baker, about to put him a lap down. Browning's able to get back around Quentin Clark for the 6th position. Montgomery and Garrett Fox are right in front of these two. It's like Adam Brown, he crashed, but he'll toe to the pit lane. And Landon Lacey, he is a full straightaway ahead of 2nd place. Running down that number 12 as we're coming down to the white flag for the stage. Let's see if he tries to get around this number 12. May choose to let him go. Looks like the 56 with a bit of an issue down on the inside. He's spinning around. No caution. These cars, they spin to that inside. Typically don't get a caution, but we're coming down to the end of the stage, and Landon Lacey's going to come off turn number 4 and win stage 1 here at Darlington on throwback night. Cronin went 2nd in the stage, James Fox 3rd. Garrett Fox will end up 4th. Matthew Montgomery 5th. Brandon Browning 6th. Quentin Clark 7th position. Caleb McCarthy in 8th. Wesley Jeanette 9th. And rounding out your top 10 for stage points is J. Rob Masterson in that number 32. So your stage winner, Landon Lacey. And he had got it checked out there fast for Landon Lacey. This is the Gadget Solutions Next Gen Cup Series here on iRacing. Make sure you check out Gadget Solutions. Gadget Solutions provides IT services and support throughout the central Indiana, specializing and focusing on the needs of local small businesses, driven to create strong partnering relationships, replicating the personal, committed feel your own customers come to expect from you. And you can go to www.gadgetsolutions.com. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you there. As we've got pit stops going on. Landon Lacey, first one in. We got a couple of guys who choose to stay out this first time around. And we'll see who's the first off pit lane. 3 cars stay out: Quentin Clark, Enzo Haceta, and John Baker. Cronin went with a good pit stop. He'll come out second. Landon Lacey first off pit lane, though. Everyone else getting some damage repaired. Looks like Quentin Clark going to come in on the second time around. Quentin Clark into the pit lane. Landon Lacey will go around. Enzo Haceta, he'll pit this time, as well as John Baker. So all those 3 that had stayed out pit on the second time around. Going to come in and get some damage repaired, I believe. Landon Lacey will reassume the lead. So that wraps up stage number 1. Stage number 2 will end on lap 80. So we are be a little bit shorter than the first stage. So we won't be getting going green until about 35 remaining in stage 2. We'll see if Landon Lacey chooses that inside line. I ran a race here not too long ago, last weekend actually. And it seemed like on the restarts, the outside lane got a much better restart. Guys were choosing that outside line just about every restart, so. But Landon Lacey, man, tough to beat tonight. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a Herculean effort out of anybody, including Cronenwet, who's been the second best car. But even being the second best car, he's been 7 to 8 seconds at the end of these long green flag runs behind Lacey. Garrett Fox, you know, he's another one who's pretty quick. Might have something for Lacey if he can keep up in the early part of the run. By the time his car comes around, he starts saving those tires and he begins moving his way forward. He's already almost 10 seconds out. But we'll see. Landon Lacey will lead him down one more time for the start of stage 2. And he'll take off. Green flag. Right up against that outside wall. You see him drive down the track and get a good run down the back straightaway. Cronenwet trying not to get too far behind as Fox, Garrett Fox, tagged that outside wall, lost a lot of momentum. Oh, he'll drop back to 5th. Jeanette, he's sent it into the corner hard to get alongside the 85, but he's not going to be able to quite get there. And Fox will get a decent run off the corner to try and hold that 5th position. And here comes the 12 of John Baker. Oh, they're in the outside wall. Big wreck. Oh, and the 56 trying to avoid it. He'll nose it to the inside wall. Let's see what happened. The 12 gets into the corner alongside the 74. Just sent it in a little too hard. Gets all the way up into the 74. And they both go up into the outside wall. The 14 of Enzo Haceta nowhere to go, along with Cody Bullock. The 24 may have gotten some damage. You see her car goes through the 14, so there may have been some net code that saved her on that one, but a lot of damaged race cars. Front bumper gone on the 12 and the 74. The hood gone on the 14. And the 5, a lot of damage. Oh, he drove it into the outside wall. Looks like the 5, Cody Bullock, may have disconnected. Not seeing him in the session. The 28 there will get the free pass. That's Kyle Lefevre. He'll be back on the lead lap. And Enzo Haceta trying to get some damage repair, but doesn't have a fast repair left. About a third of the way through this one. Only 3 cautions so far. One of those being the stage caution, so good green flag racing tonight. The question at this point is anybody going to have anything for Landon Lacey out front? Will it be that 88 of Gary Cronenwet driving that Cronenwet Motorsports car? Go check out Cronenwet Motorsports. They're an ARCA street stock race team out of Taylor, Michigan, with not 1 but 2 primary ARCA series cars out of the CMS stable. The team competes regularly at Flat Rock Speedway and Toledo Speedway. For more team and schedule information, visit us on Facebook at Cronenwet Motorsports. So go check out Cronenwet Motorsports on Facebook. Show Gary your support as he tries to win a race here tonight and defeat Landon Lacey, who has been incredible. The lights are off on the pace car. We're about to go green flag racing again. Lacey out there in that Jeff Gordon scheme. Definitely looking a lot like Jeff Gordon out here being the class of the field. Quentin Clark's made his way back up to 6th. We'll see what he's got here on this restart. And a good restart for Landon Lacey. Cronenwet doing his best to keep up. These two are already out to a pretty good lead. There goes the 88, sends it in. He's going to get a nose alongside the 53. These guys driving hard down into these corners. There goes the 88 sideways. He saves it, but he loses a lot of time. And those tires, those rear tires with that big slide, that's going to cause some issues later in this run if we go for a long green one. But he is able to hold the 2nd spot. But the whole field now on the tail of the 88 of Cronenwet. Landon Lacey will pull out to a much larger lead. Quentin Clark, he's up to the 5th spot. We've been watching him tonight. Started in 2nd, had to fall back. Making his way back to the front though. And here comes Masterson. Masterson very fast on the short run. If he can somehow find his way up to the top 2 or 3 and we get a green white checker or a 5-10 lap run on the end of this race, then you definitely want to watch out for that 32. Very fast on the short run. Clark with a big run off the corner. He tags that outside wall. You see Masterson gets sideways and he'll lose a couple of spots. Garrett Fox has dropped all the way back to the 7th position after restarting it after the stage in 3rd. So he's dropped back quite a bit. Montgomery with a big run out of 2 down the backstretch. And he is all over the 58 of James Fox, trying to take that third position away. He's going to get another big run out of 2 right here down the racetrack. And he has figured out the exit of 2. Let's see, where can he make the move to try and get alongside the 58? Was Clark not letting these guys get too far away? All 3 of these cars racing hard. This is the battle for third. James Fox currently in that third position. From that roof cam of the 94, Quentin Clark. And a big run off turn 4, looks to the inside. Can he get there? Not quite, as Montgomery will send it in and down to the bottom. Oh, Montgomery did not have the run that he wanted there. Looks like he may let Quentin Clark have it here. No, they're still side by side. And he will let him have it on an exit. Clark now to 4th. Oh, and he'll hit the outside wall. Montgomery may get him back. Brandon Browning right in the perfect spot to watch these guys race. Oh, as he sends it into the outside wall. A hard hit for the 48. That hit was so hard, it didn't even not only damage the right side of the race car, but it damaged the front. You see there on the left side of your screen, the right side of his race car hit the wall so hard that it damaged the front of the car. Clark now working on third place, James Fox. Oh, Fox hard into the outside wall. They all go crashing. The 2's collected. Major damage for these 3 that were battling for third position. What a crazy incident. Let's try and get a better look as they come off the corner. 58 gassing it up, trying to stay ahead of the 94, and just that wall comes out, especially right there where that safer barrier is. It kind of comes out further than you expect. And that takes out all 3 of these cars. And the 2 Montgomery thought he had it missed, but nowhere for the 2 to go. He went all the way to the inside wall trying to avoid it and gets absolutely sent hard into that inside safer barrier. 48 able to get through without damage. So most likely the 2 will have to take his fast repair here. The 94, a lot of damage. Still early in this race. If you have to take your fast repair here, that's maybe detrimental. And 53 he's getting some damage repaired where he's hit that outside wall. Masterson in the pit lane as well. Right now, Cronenwett, Montgomery, Garrett Fox, Wesley Jeanette, Kyle Lefevre, and John Baker all still on the racetrack. We'll see if they come in and pit the second time around. The 94 does take his faster pair. We'll see if any of these other guys pit the second time around. Montgomery will pit. A lot of damage for him. Garrett Fox will come down. John Baker down the pit lane as well. So 3 cars do stay out here. That'll put Landon Lacey back in 4th position. Cronenwett, he's going to be hoping to get far enough ahead on this restart. Now, Lacey's not going to be able to get through the traffic. Of course, it's only a couple of cars. He's going to be restarting the outside of the second row. Anything can happen here as we're down to 14 laps remaining in the second stage. To get ready to go back, Green Flag Racing, check out Patriot Auto Solutions. Patriot Auto Solutions is your one-stop shop for all automotive refinishing needs. Specializing in vehicle customization like aftermarket color matching, look no further if you are seeking paint and refinishing needs in or around the state of Indiana. Our shop is home to over 10 years of automotive knowledge, repair, and refinishing experience. For more information, visit our Instagram or Facebook page at Patriot Auto Solutions. Check out their Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Auto Solutions as we are double file waiting for the pace car to pull off. Gary Cronenwett inside of lane number 1. He'll be the control car. How early will he go? He's just got to wait for that pace car to get into the pit lane. Oh, and the 53 bumps the 74, trying to get him through. Lacey already jumps right around Lefevre and drives already around the 74. Now he'll run down Cronenwett. Wesley Jeanette trying to hold on to that 3rd spot, but Browning, he's got new tires too. Jeanette into that outside wall. Browning trying to take his time, but only 11 laps left. He could try and get Cronenwett on the older tires. Lefevre with a big hit to the outside wall. That's going to cause him to drop to 7th. He's trying to hold on to stage points. Here comes Landon Lacey. And this is for the stage win. Lacey with a big run. Down the backstretch, he'll get side by side with Cronenwett, and there's just nothing the 88 can do. Landon Lacey with those new tires, he'll drive right by. Now he's going to pull away. And finally, Browning now able to move into third. Nobody in front of him. If he can just get 10 real clean laps here, there's a shot of him catching Cronenwet with him having much fresher tires. We'll take a look here at the pit strategy. You see Lacey and Browning only 7 laps on their tires. Cronenwet 29 laps, so a pretty big difference. Browning is reeling in Cronenwet. We'll see if he's going to have enough time to catch him. Nathan Lyon back here in 12th. He's trying to get to the free pass car. Right now, Kayla McCarthy has got that Lucky Dog's position, and she's trying to hold on to it as Browning setting some fast laps. He is reeling in Cronenwet. These two have had a bit of a history. We'll see if the 48's able to get around the 88 with only 5 laps remaining here in the stage. I think Browning's going to try and get around him quick. Doesn't want to wait until that last lap of the stage because you never know. A caution could end the stage here. Took him a while to get around the 74. And here comes the 94 Clark. He's run these guys down. So we may have a barn burner as they're now side by side off the corner. And look at Clark. What a run down the front stretch. Clark's also able to get around Cronenwet. Now he's going to be chasing down Browning. Clark seems to be a little bit faster, but he had to use that faster pair. So he's trying not to push too hard. Doesn't want to get damaged on the right side of that race car. As Lacey's pushed out to almost a 5-second lead over second place of that 48 of Brandon Browning on your screen. And can Quentin Clark get around the 48? He inches just a little bit closer. 3 laps to go on the stage. Oh, and he does tag the outside wall. That may cost him a second place in the stage as Browning able to kind of hold pace with Lacey right now. He's right at 4.5 seconds. He's been there for the last 3 or 4 laps. Clark going to try and take one more shot at it. They both hit the outside wall. These guys are pushing hard. It's Landon Lacey. Out to 5 seconds. He'll be your stage 2 winner. These guys racing hard for second. Browning sideways off the corner. Clark right to the bumper. Can he send it in on the inside? And I don't think he's going to be able to get there. Landon Lacey does win the stage. Second is Brandon Browning. Third, Quentin Clark. Garrett Fox in the 4th position. Cronenwett will come home 5th. Wesley Jeanette in the 6th spot. 7th is James Fox. Kyle Lefevre in 8th. Matthew Montgomery 9th, and Masterson will round out your top 10 for the stage here in stage number 2. Incredible battle there between Brandon Browning and Quentin Clark, but your stage winner driving away was Landon Lacey with a 5-second lead over 2nd place. And you see how much difference those tires made when Cronenwett stayed out. So now the leaders will pit. They'll take another set of tires. Cronenwett took a risk there. He dropped back to 5th, so now he's the one that's going to have to try and get through traffic. The difference this time between Lacey last time was Lacey had newer tires than everyone in front of him, and this time Cronenwett going to be on even tires. That's going to be much more difficult to get through the field as Landon Lacey will pull into his pit lane. Oh, fuel only looks like for the 53. Everyone else was with a set of tires. So Landon Lacey here, 16 laps, I believe, on that set of tires. And we'll go back and look to make sure. But I do believe he only took fuel only. You see him right there. Yep, fuel only for the 53. So, Landon Lacey's on the even fuel, but older tires will come around across the line. We'll be able to look at our pit strategy. So Lacey has 19 lap old tires. A few of those are caution laps, but everyone else took a set. So we'll see how that works out if we get a long green flag run. I guess it just depends on how far Lacey's going to fall back, but he's been so fast. You never know. He might be able to stay out front, even on the older tires. Looks like the number 9 going to take a wave around here. I want to give a big shout out to Tunney's Auto Service, offering a variety of services including tires, brakes, and oil changes. Our main priority is to work with you and give you the best service experience possible. Whether we slash prices, match another price, or bring the service to you, we'll do what we can to make life easier for you. Go check out Tunney's Auto at www.tunneysauto.com. That's TUNNYSAUTO.com. They've sponsored a few races. A league sponsor here at Tunney's Auto Service. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. We're side by side. And the 53 chooses that inside lane again. I think this is going to be good for the 94. We'll see. Cronenwett, he comes out of the pits in 7th, so got some work to do for the 88. Lacey with a good restart, he'll get out front. And even on the older tires, they're able to get out front and get a pretty good lead. I think once he got out front, he was probably saving these tires pretty well. Trying to save a set in case he needs him later in the race. They are slinging it down into the corner. Sideways off the corner for the 53. He knows Clark coming for him. Cronenwett's been able to make his way back up into the 5th position, but he's got a long way to go to get up to 4th. You see the top 4 in front of him. He's trying to reel them in. And Matthew Montgomery right there behind him. Not letting him get too far away. Garrett Fox behind the lap car of John Anderson, who's a couple of laps down. 4 laps down for the 56. He gets sideways off the corner and hard into the inside wall for the 56. I think that's the second time he's done that tonight. And boy, is it easy to do. You come off the corner, you gas it up, and the thing gets sideways and right into the inside wall. And a lot of damage for the 56 of John Anderson. Landon Lacey, our leader, even on the old tires, he's pulled out to a 2.5 lead. And 10th place Masterson having, a lot of issues with that no nose on the car. He's a bit off the pace, and he's going to be going a lap down before too long. 25 seconds behind our leader right now, just trying to stay on the lead lap as long as he can. Kayla McCarthy, who had fallen a lap down earlier, she's moving up to 7th position. She had just gotten the free pass not long ago. Her and Garrett Fox battling it out as we've got a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Cronenwett now up to 3rd as he's able to get around Quentin Clark. James Fox goes around 2. Cronenwett, a big run off the corner. He's going to try and get around the 58. A bump as they go down the backstretch. And that's going to allow Cronenwett to get around. Now he's into the 2nd position. So Cronenwett on the move. He's got newer tires than Landon Lacey. Right now he is pushing hard. I think Lacey's out there trying to save what he can, trying to make these tires kind of even out on this long run. Even with 18 lap difference, you can do that. The guys who are good at racing are very good at doing that. But right now, Cronenwett still with the fresher rubber, reeling in Lacey and reeling him in pretty quick. We'll take a couple laps from the cockpit camera. You see Landon Lacey right in front of him, and he is reeling him in quick. And Gary up on the wheel right now. Gaining a lot of time right there into the entry of turn 3. That gap coming down quick. Gary Cronenwet reeling in our leader, Landon Lacey. Not only that, but pulling away from James Fox by a lot. Already 2.5 seconds ahead of Fox. Cronenwet by a lot. Fastest car on the track. As we are within 50 laps to go. Everyone should have to make one more pit stop. Lacey gonna let him by. Know he's got the fresher tires. Doesn't want to race too hard. Lacey hoping the long run will work in his favor. Cronenwet really pushing those tires, so we'll see if in the long run that's the strategy to go with. Lacey just keeping his pace. Right now, the closest race on this track, Quentin Clark and Caleb McCarthy. Here comes Garrett Fox trying to get through too. Clark has dropped back to 6th. And Clark there on the last restarted second. Thought he was going to have something for Landon Lacey, but right now Clark 6.5 seconds behind Cronenwet, 6 seconds behind Lacey. And another instance where he's up into the outside wall, so stepping over that line just a few too many times. And that has caused Clark to drop back to 7th. And that line here, it is easy to do. McCarthy up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Cronenwet up into the outside wall. We saw him lose a little bit of time through the corner. And he's pushing hard. Now he's right to the rear bumper of these cars. He's about to put a lap down. Oh, the 19 into the outside wall. Cronenwet has to be careful as he works his way through traffic. And that is keeping Lacey with him, but right now the 88 clear racetrack for a long way in front of him. Only one more car for over a half a lap. So Lacey able to keep up. You see just how smooth the 53 is? Just keeping his line, trying not to wear those tires too much. I think that tire wear is starting to even out a little bit. As we saw how hard the 88 was pushing, drove it into the outside wall. And while we were watching this, Caleb McCarthy's able to get around the 2. And now she's reeling in the 58, that Napa car in front of her, for the 3rd position. She's got a fast race car moving her way to the front. We'll see if we see some pit strategy on this final pit stop. We watch the hands of Kayla McCarthy working. She's going to try and figure out a way to get around this 58 Napa Auto Parts car of James Fox. She's there. Can she get a big run off this corner? Doesn't look like James Fox is going to be able to, but she doesn't get a great run either. He's going to let her by, though. And Landon Lacey looks like he has pitted. Yeah, Landon Lacey, he has already made his pit stop. Took tires and he's back out onto the racetrack. And you can see just how much faster he is than the field, but he is a lap down. Quentin Clark now down the pit lane. He's going to take what should be his final pit stop of the night. So we are seeing green flag stops. Cronin Wet still out on the racetrack. And we'll see when he chooses to come down pit lane. And he is pushing that race car right now, 4-second lead over Kayla McCarthy. But Landon Lacey's gaining a whole lot of time right now. I think Cronenwet's kind of hoping for a caution. Wants Lacey to be stuck at the rear of the field. Lacey that time was a 1.5 seconds quicker than Gary Cronenwet, our leader. That 94, you're about to see the difference in tires and old tires. As this 94, who's already pitted, is trying to get one of his laps back. Quentin Clark, he is 2 laps down, so he's trying to get back to 1 lap down. And he'll head right down around Cronenwet, and that's going to cost Cronenwet almost a second to McCarthy. Who gained a lot of time with that exchange there between the 94 and the 88. Now McCarthy peeling into the pit lane. She'll come in for her final stop. And there she goes. The 2 coming in and the 74. So everyone's starting to make their final pit stop. How much longer will the 88 stay out? Here he comes, the 88 of Cronenwet, now down the pit lane. Looks like Garrett Fox going to stay out there and try to lead a lap, and he will do just that. Landon Lacey, you see how fast he is. He is trying to gain as much time as he can because now Cronenwet's going to have much fresher tires. And a hard hit there for Garrett Fox. James Fox goes sliding sideways, hits the inside wall. No caution as he'll be able to continue, but he's going to want to come into that pit lane pretty quick. So here's the difference. Right here is Landon Lacey. The next car behind him that's going to be the car that's trying to beat him and run him down is Gary Cronenwet. He is a half a lap behind almost. So a big difference. And the question is, can Cronenwet make up that much time in about 25 laps? And Garrett Fox and James Fox have both pulled it into the pit lane for their final pit stop. And Lacey will take the lead. We'll see how big of a lead that he has. Looks like he's going to have about a 14-second lead over Cronenwet. And he's short pitted big time, so a 14-second lead he's going to have to try and hold on to. And we'll take a quick look at the pit strategy here. Cronenwet only a couple laps on his tires. Lacey 13 laps on his. So Lacey out there, not sure if he's going to continue to push or try and save his tires. We've only got 25 to go. Cronenwet, as he's trying to make his way through traffic, it's costing him time. And the 58 of James Fox, he'll go a lap down. And the 85 of Garrett Fox is almost a lap down. Browning, he's a lap down as well. Garrett Fox is right in front of the leader. There you can see Landon Lacey right behind him. About a half straightaway behind. He's trying to pull away from him to keep on that lead lap. Cronenwet not really running down Lacey like maybe he expected to. He's reeling him in a little bit, but not enough. He's now right at 14 seconds behind with 23 laps to go. And he's going to have to be catching about 6-7 tenths a lap at least. And if he doesn't start doing that pretty soon, then it's going to be a second a lap, and I just don't see that happening. It's Lacey just keeping his cool out there. Holding that 14-second lead. Gary Cronenwet Basically a half a lap down, man. Cronenwet starting to pick it up a little bit now, but it may be too little too late. 88 needs a caution to have any type of a chance at it. That last time around, Cronenwet half a second quicker. He's about to run into a little more traffic. The 53 Landon Lacey's got nobody in front of him. McCarthy, she's working her way through. She's about 5 seconds behind Cronenwet. Got to give a big shout out to Blaster Motorsports. Brayton Laster Motorsports, professional dirt super late model race team located in central Indiana. After starting racing at the age of 8 in go-karts, Brayton now looks to take on dirt tracks across the Midwest. For more team and schedule information, visit us on Facebook, Brayton Laster Motorsports. Go check him out, a league sponsor. As Caleb McCarthy reeling in the leader a little bit. Cronenwet, though, he's within 12 seconds with 17 to go. That last time by 4/10 quicker than Landon Lacey. And that's just not going to be enough. And to keep up that pace of continually being that fast, eventually these tires are going to even out. You know, you kind of get into a spot where your tires get to a spot where you run about the same lap time over and over and over. And I think Landon Lacey's in that spot right now. He's running right around 29.8, 29.9 every single lap. And slowly Cronenwet working his way up. 29.7 last time by. Landon Lacey at 29.9. So only 2/10 that time for Gary Cronenwet. And his time is running out. 16 laps to go. Going to be hoping for a caution, I think. That may be his only shot at winning. Still over 11 seconds the difference between first and second. Right now, Garrett Fox on the pressure to try and get a top 5, and he's going to move to the outside of the 74, and Garrett Fox will drive by. And he will move into the top 5. Fox not too far behind Montgomery. He might be able to catch him. See that too? Not this car in front of him, but the car in front of him. That is the 2 of Matthew Montgomery. That's who he's racing for the 4th position. Cronenwet now within 11 seconds with 13 to go. He's gonna have to pick it up. He's gonna have to gain almost a second a lap. Lacey's worked his way through a little bit of traffic. Garrett Fox running that mid to low line through turn 1 and 2. Hey, if y'all get the chance, go check out iRacing Extreme Figure 8 Racing. You can check them out on Facebook at iRacing Extreme Figure 8 Racing for more information on season series, big purse championships, and past events. That's a pretty cool thing they got going on over there with the iRacing figure eight. Those guys do some real life figure eight racing, which is intense. But man, even iRacing figure eight racing is pretty intense. It's pretty cool to watch. As we see Garrett Fox send it into the corner, up into the outside wall. He's doing all he can to try and catch this too for the 4th position. And he is running him down. He's right there. The 2 with a little bit of traffic. He touches that outside wall. It's going to hurt his momentum a little bit. Down to the final 10 laps here at Darlington of the Gadget Solutions Next Gen Cup Series. Landon Lacey is our leader, looking for a back-to-back win. Gary Cronenwet just over 10 seconds behind in the 2nd position in the number 88. Also in the top 3, Kayla McCarthy. Haven't been able to talk to her since her back-to-back wins a few weeks ago. Now she's back in the top 3. If she can hold it on for 9 more laps, we're going to be able to get an interview with Kayla McCarthy. And now the battle for 4th, Matthew Montgomery and Garrett Fox. They are racing hard for this position. Tell you, this throwback weekend, love it at Darlington, and this is why you get to see this old Earnhardt scheme battle with this old Rusty Wallace scheme. Takes you back down memory lane to the late 90s. Garrett Fox right there. He just can't quite find his way around. And Montgomery may be able to hold him off. You know, early in the race, you would maybe let a guy go when they're a little bit faster than you. Right now, Fox faster than Montgomery, but 6 laps to go. All bets are off. And right now, you might be throwing some blocks. No, he's going to let him go. 85, just too big of a run there for Montgomery to hold off. So Montgomery will drop back to 5th position. It looks like Brandon Browning back down the pit lane. He's in 9th, so he may drop a couple more positions. No, it doesn't look like it. Brown is 6 laps down, so looks like he'll keep that 9th position. 5 laps to go. Lacey was still over a 10-second lead. The fastest car on the track, Kayla McCarthy, in the 3rd position, but 5 to go. Almost 4 seconds behind Cronenwet, and don't think she's going to be able to get there in 4 laps. Landon Lacey, man, what can you say? He's been the class of the field the whole night. Cronenwet was able to get around for a minute. Led a few laps with Lacey having older tires. Lacey with a short pit gets out 15, 16 seconds over Cronenwet. Cronenwet with those newer tires pulls it to within 10, 11 seconds. Now he's back. Starting to fade a little bit. As we're down to the final 2 laps. That 53 Landon Lacey. He's about to come around and take the white flag. Nobody could really touch him today. The only one that even had a shot was Cronenwet there in second, but 11 seconds out, and he is sending it in right now. Landon Lacey on this final lap. Incredible run, great pit strategy. And not only, you know, he had 13, 14 lap older tires, and right now is gapping Cronenwet again. So that goes to show you that the tire saving of Landon Lacey as he comes off turn 4 and takes the checkered flag. Landon Lacey, your winner. The Bojangles Southern 250. Garrett Cronenwet will come home second position, and third will be Caleb McCarthy. Fourth position is Garrett Fox. One of my favorite paint schemes, the old Earnhardt. Was a huge Earnhardt fan growing up. And Matthew Montgomery, the old Rusty scheme. He'll round out the top 5. Cronenwet giving the old congratulatory donut on the door. Landon Lacey, class of the field tonight. Next week we'll be heading to the road course, Indy Grand Prix, the Indianapolis road course, 41 laps. That'll be presented by Blaster Motorsports. Road course, who knows what's going to happen at a road course, but right now Landon Lacey burning it down on the front stretch. And burn it down, Landon Lacey. You deserve it after that one. Teammate Caleb McCarthy sitting on the front stretch. Let's see if we can get a word with Caleb McCarthy, our third place finisher. Hey, Caleb, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Hey, you went back-to-back there a few weeks ago, a couple of rough weeks there, but you're able to get back up here to the top 3. What did you think about these next gens here at Darlington tonight?
I tell you what, they're definitely fun to drive. You definitely got to have some throttle input and control with these things, but they're fun. This is by far my worst track on the circuit, other than Indianapolis road course. We definitely had some adversity to come through tonight. My dogs ripped up the Ethernet cable out of my computer, so I had to go flying across town real quick and barely made it back in time. But good to be back on this podium after missing last week.
Yeah, it was interesting to see you didn't make it to practice like you said, and I noticed that earlier. Were you able to get some practice laps throughout the week, or did you kind of just, as you were running through the race, just try to figure it out?
Yeah, we actually ran, so this league does a really good job about putting a practice trace on the night before, so Monday nights. We ran that and kind of got a feel for it. Actually, we were able to get the win last night in the practice race, so that was kind of a confidence booster. Only reason we got the win was because Landon missed pit road, so take that misfortune and we'll take it. But definitely the practice laps last night helped. I think we ran like 75 laps last night plus practice, so definitely had a lot of laps in this thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Indianapolis road course. We're going there next week. What are your road racing abilities? Are you as good at turning right as you are turning left?
I mean, I've heard I'm okay. I pretty much just survive and capitalize off other people's mistakes. That one's going to be a same thing, and I have to put a lot of practice laps into that one as well, before Monday, as well as Monday during the practice race this league throws up. So I'm going to turn a lot of laps there, try and get better, try and capitalize on other people's misfortunes again. But good point science for us after last week to come back and get some stage points in stage 1, missed them out in stage 2, and then finish P3. So we'll take it. We'll keep the top 3, and we're already locked in the playoffs. So we'll just keep digging.
Yeah, iRacing's got a pretty good reputation of having a pretty real representation of these racetracks. What do you think the chances of us getting an exploding curb next week?
I think it's pretty good, to be honest. I think it's going to be a pretty good chance that someone's going to go jump a curb and blow the left front or the right front, one of the two, just depending on if it's a left-hander or a right-hander. But it'll definitely be interesting to see and see how much damage it's going to do and how bad it's going to affect someone's race.
Well, a great job tonight, Kaylee. Got anybody you'd like to thank after a great top 3 finish tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank everybody in Filthy 5 Motorsports, Landon Lacey, Quentin, Brandon, all the sponsors for the league, all the admin, my wife, Charge Racing, Nitro Setup Shop for everything that they do for me, and everything that you do for the broadcast, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, great job. Hopefully we'll see you next week as we go left stand right next week at the Indy Road Course.
Yeah, man, that's the goal.
All right, have a good one. And that was 3rd place finisher Kayla McCarthy. Let's see if we can get a word with Gary Cronenwet. And your victory lane is sponsored by Lefever's Landscape Curbing. So make sure you check out Lefever's Landscape Curbing as we do our post-race interviews. Now on to Gary Cronenwet. Hey, Gary, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, Landon Lacey was certainly fast out there tonight. Looks like you were the only guy that really was able to compete with him. And second fastest all night long. You were able to get up there and lead some laps. What was the difference between being able to get a win here tonight?
Not knocking the wall down. It seemed like every lap, I would, 3 and 4, I would just dive in there and I'd gain so much time on him. But I would just burn the right front up so easy, and I would just tag the wall, and then after that, the car just went to crap. And he was just so fast. He's fast week in and week out, so he's the one to beat for sure.
What are your thoughts here on the next gen at Darlington? Is it a big difference from the Gen 6 car?
Drivability wise, I would say a little bit yes. But the way the car reacts to tagging the wall or worn tires, it's about the same. You just got to drive a little bit different. But, I mean, I like these cars a lot compared to the Gen 6 car.
Next week, we're going to that Indy Road Course. Are your road racing abilities up to par? Are you a good road racer? You think you're going to have a chance at getting a win next week?
I don't know about next week. I am a pretty decent road racer, though. I have been known to turn left and right in my day, but we'll see what happens. Especially with this car, I'm gonna have to get some practice laps in and see what I can do, and then hopefully I come out and win. Hopefully by the end of the season I'll get one win.
Yeah, we're definitely fast tonight. It's just that one guy that was just a little bit quicker, but you come home second. A great run. You got anybody you'd like to thank after this one tonight, Gary?
Yeah, a few people actually. Congrats to Landon Lacey, by the way. He's top notch. He's the one to beat all year, so congrats to him. He ran a good race. I'd like to thank the broadcast booth, you up in the booth to put on these races, for the fans, everyone watching. Garrett Fox, the league, amazing. The guys are running with, they're awesome. Brandon, shout out to you, buddy. I'd like to thank my wife and my 2 kids at home, letting me do this from time to time every Tuesday. And my sponsor, CMS Motorsports, my teammate, Ryan Smith. He's awesome, perfect guy to work with. H&M Transporting, LLC, Sully Speed Shop, and yeah, I think that's about covered it.
All right, well, great job. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again after that road course next week. It's going to be a wild one.
Hopefully it'll be in victory lane.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And that was Gary Cronenwet, second place finisher. Now let's go on to our winner, Landon Lacey. There he is, still parked on the stripe. Let's get a word with our winner. Hey, Landon, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, class of the field tonight. Nobody really had much for you. You chose to not get tires on a pit stop there, and that allowed Cronwet to get around you. And you short pitted after that, and just get out to like a 16-second lead. Nobody able to even get within 10 seconds of you after that. What are your thoughts after this race? And can you cue us in on a little bit of that pit strategy?
I mean, thankfully I had plenty of ample time this week with the holidays coming up to put in a little bit of practice because I thought this racetrack was going to be a struggle for me. Um, but no, pit strategy just kind of fell the way it fell. You know, they're in the first stage. No, sorry, they're in the second stage. Kind of pitted halfway through the stage with that caution falling, and only fell back to fifth, so we were able to get back up to the front there. And then I was just trying to conserve tire sets. I felt like 20 laps on the tires after looking at the tire wear. Tires weren't that bad, so I thought, staying out on those tires was a pretty good idea. And I knew Gary had to come a ways through the field to get up to me on that run. So pretty much once he got by me, me and him were basically running the same lap times. And really, I didn't short pit by much. I short pitted by about 10 laps. But other than that, it's just everything seemed to fall the right way tonight.
Yeah, you're very good in these next gen cars. Seem to be calling your name a lot. It's here in this next gen Cup series. What are your thoughts on the next gens? Do you think they drive wildly different here at Darlington? You are certainly fast.
I mean, they drive a little bit different. The Cup car seems to have a little bit more front end downforce than these cars do. So then, also the ride heights for now are a little bit low on fresh tires. So you tend to, kind of strike the racetrack with the splitter, and it just shoots you up the racetrack. But once the air pressures come up, everything seems to, balance out. And the fight with these cars is with them being symmetrical on both sides. You kind of lose the side force that you had on the Cup car. Um, so I mean that adds to a whole nother handling perspective with these cars. So it's sometimes a handful, but it's fun to drive.
And next week we're heading to the Indy Road Course. Are you a pretty good road course racer?
Um,
Or are you
I don't know.
going to give these boys a chance?
We'll have to see. I'm not too sure. I've never. I'm good at road courses, but I've never raced at the Indy Road Course. So it's going to take a little bit of practice to see what we have. But I guess we'll truly find out when the time comes next week.
Yeah, one big difference between the Gen 6 car and this next gen car is that shift box going from an H pattern to a sequential. Not sure how you have yours, if you're using paddles or if you're using an actual stick, but do you find it more fun at the road courses?
I mean, I wish I had an H pattern. Sadly, I only have paddle shifters. But I think it adds a whole nother perspective. There was a couple guys tonight that were actually downshifting in 3 and 4 once we got some wear on the tires because you were able to, match RPMs with fourth gear and able to shift down and kind of gain a little bit of a turning edge running a lower gear. But for me, I like the 5th to 5 gears. So. Yeah.
You got anybody you'd like to thank after this one, Landon? A great victory and a big burnout there at the end. So anybody you got to thank after this one?
Well, first of all, I'd like to dedicate this win to somebody. Brandon Browning's son, Camden, is having to go through some surgery here. Well, I mean, and then the doctors are having to see if he can even have surgery because he has a heart murmur. So I want to dedicate this win to him, and I want everybody out there to, please, please, please pray for him as they go through this time. Other than that, I'd like to thank Charge Racing, 55 Motorsports. Thank all the admins here for putting on such a great league. Thank you for the broadcast. Thank you to everybody that makes this league go round. I'd like to thank. Nope, I already thanked them. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody that got me to this point.
Absolutely. Well, great job. And our thoughts are definitely with Brandon Browning and his family. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again there at the road course. We go left and right next week. It'll be a wild one.
Sir.
And there was Landon Lacey, your winner. Not only, a winner here on the track, but a winner off the track. A pretty cool thing. Shout out to Brandon Browning and his family, and our thoughts and prayers are with you as well. But next week we'll be going to the Indianapolis road course. Turning left and right. That'll be a fun race. So we will see you next week there at that Indianapolis road course. Appreciate everybody for hanging out, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Appreciate all of you for tuning in and being with us. 2021 has been a great year. Let's make 2022 a good one too. So appreciate everybody for hanging in there with us and this fun race tonight here at Darlington. And until next time, we'll catch you later.